Hello there. It has been a long stinking time since I was able to do a vlog. I think maybe a couple of weeks. I think it was after week one when I did this, the first time after I moved back in here. I was unable to do any kind of a vlog after I discovered that my internet was not sufficient to support the Zoom platform. I found out the hard way in the middle of an art class, which is not cool, not good. And the the internet company that I chose to use due to their really good price, we won't name it, it's a CenturyLink. It was not adequate. It won't support Zoom. So now I'm on fiber optics and it's working great. And I have the world's longest Ethernet cord snaking its way over there to where I have it coming through the wall. And I'm all set up and it's great and it's working. Yay. I can go back to doing all of the things that I was doing before, my art classes and my vlogs. So I'm really happy about that. I don't have a lot to talk about tonight. There's a lot of things going on, but I've done 3 attempts at trying to do this and I'm so tired right now. I'm a little bit sleep deprived, but I'm stumbling over my words and I don't want to do that. So I thought I would just show up and let you know I'm here. And as soon as I'm able, maybe even as soon as tomorrow, I intend to do a vlog post talking about some pretty important stuff that's going on in my life, some triggers, some plans, some things I'm excited about that I want to talk about to some degree. Some of it's pretty private, but life is pretty amazing right now, pretty stinking amazing. I did have the inspiration to share with you just a grounding kind of a moment. I wanted to share this with you. This is my singing bowl. It's a large one because, you know, size matters. And inside of it is, can I get that where you can see it? It's Kuan Yin, one of my cosmic dudes. She's got a smudge on her face, but she can still sing. So it's been a while since I've done this. I hope I can pull this off. If you want to join me first in a deep intake of breath, hold it for a few moments and then blow it out and then push with your diaphragm at the end. That helps to clear out all of the stale air. Join me in this breath and then I will tone my singing bowl and then we'll see whatever I want to talk about. You ready? So I don't know how that felt to you. I don't just hear this, I feel it. It definitely resonates throughout the body. So I wanted to share that with you. It's pretty cool. I mean, I could have just like beat on the djembe over here, and maybe I will. I've got a djembe there and a Chinese drum there, but I do have a downstairs neighbor and I want her happy that I'm living up here on the top floor. What to talk about? There's been a lot going on in me. I had some pretty intense processing to do today. I was rather majorly triggered last night. And what triggered me is actually incidental because the fact is when we're triggered, it has nothing to do with the person or the situation or the circumstance or the relationship or the whatever it is that stepped on the thing that ends up causing us discomfort. Whatever seems to be the catalyst for the trigger is not the cause of the trigger. You want to know what the cause of the trigger is? Your own unresolved, usually early childhood wounds and traumas. And I know a lot of you think you weren't traumatized, you had the idyllic, perfect childhood. And maybe you did. Maybe you did. Maybe you're that one functional human that the rest of us dysfunctional humans and families are being compared to. But my suspicion is that you, like me, have a lot of unresolved trauma in your past. And the triggering is actually not there to torture you. It's not the universe's way of torturing you at all. It's the part of you, the part of life, the part of your soul, life itself, that loves you so much. It doesn't want all of that festering, unresolved, gangrenous trauma stuff affecting you sideways anymore. The point of the trigger, which is a gift, is to reveal what's hidden to you, to bring it to your present moment awareness so you can feel it and heal it, embrace it, face it, and be liberated from it. And if you get to the root of it, you get liberated for once and for all. Some triggers are multifaceted, and so you'll have to be triggered from various different aspects of it so that you can heal it in different components. But often what I discover is that if you get to the root of the trigger, the core of it, and you feel it one last time for the purpose of fully feeling it, you can be healed and it can be transformed. It's not what once happened to us that continues to hurt us. It's what we concluded, the lies that we believe about what once happened to us that continues to hurt us. And the trigger is the means by which we reveal and unveil that which is hidden, repressed, suppressed, unconscious, shadow realm, gangrenous stuff that's still affecting us. And we can't put Band-Aids on gangrene and imagine that we're being healed. So we can't take a mental asset of an emotional experiential issue and imagine that we've dealt with it. We cannot think our way to resolve our emotions. We have to feel them. We have to feel our feelings. It's that simple and it's that painful. And when we're triggered, it's painful. There's no question about it. So last night, I did get triggered. I did experience emotional pain, and it was really, really familiar. You ever notice that? You ever notice that you have the same feelings over and over and over, and even the same circumstances? Maybe the same type of relationship that's over and over again, or the same kind of job, or the same kind of boss, or your friends keep doing the same thing to you over and over, or life itself just keeps happening. There are patterns. The reason for that is because life is trying to get your attention about the thing that triggered you so that you're backed into the corner going, okay, I will deal with this. Because life loves you that much. Your soul loves you that much. It's not fun to be perpetually infected with something that's going to keep showing up and keep hurting us. We need to deal with it. So enter Exhibit A, the triggerer. Yeah, the beloved triggerer. Because it's usually the people who are closest to us that we let in the most that can impact us. So intimate relationships are the number one way by which we get triggered. Our children, our parents, our friends, our jobs, our coworkers, dreams, all kinds of things can be the catalyst, but they're not the cause. The cause is what once happened to us and the conclusion we formed about ourselves, the lie that we have carried through our lives about ourselves or about life itself that continues to hurt us. So we get triggered, not to torture us, but to liberate us from all of that. There are many different modalities that can help with processing the trigger. But the most important thing that each of us need to do is to become emotionally responsible in recognizing that we are the cause and therefore the solution for our triggers, for our trauma. I mean, ultimately, that's empowering. Because if somebody else hurt us and somebody else triggers us, then we're at the mercy of all these someone else's. And we're just going to be perpetually getting triggered and being in pain for the rest of our lives. But if we recognize, whoa, wait a minute, I'm the causal agent for my own triggering, and I'm the empowered resource for resolving that, that's liberating. That's liberating. So these different modalities that get to the root of the problem need to bypass the mental aspect and get to the emotional experiential root of the problem. Hypnotherapy is one, theophostic is another, EMDR, which I've recently been discovering and playing with, is another. There are many of these modalities, and play with them. You can find the ones that work best for you. But I promise it's not going to be done by rationalizing, analyzing, figuring out, thinking, mentalizing. Mental masturbation never solved anything. And we are a culture of severe overthinkers who are emotionally stunted because we're not taking our own emotional well-being seriously. We need to become responsible so that we can become response-able. See, when we're triggered, we can't respond in the present moment to whatever's going on. We're stuck in reaction mode. Now think about that word react, react. We are reacting, reenacting whatever happened to us in our past. And it's like we get shanghaied, hijacked by a hurting inner child who shows up in the adult body and uses all of the adult words and takes over the situation. And I don't know about you, but my 3-year-old through 7-year-old is not equipped to handle my adult scenarios. What she needs, what she wants from me, is to be the parent who shows up and says, okay, I'm going to sit with you. I'm going to feel this feeling with you. You couldn't handle it when you were 3, but I can help you feel it now. I can help you handle it now. I'm going to help you process that. I'm going to help you find the lie that you believe about yourself. And I'm going to help you see the truth that will set you free. It might piss you off first, but it will set you free if you're willing to face it. There's a theory that's known as the pathway of awareness. It was first formulated by one of my heroes, Michael Brown, who wrote a book called The Presence Process and also Alchemy of the Heart. He's my favorite non-guru. He wrote these books, put out a whole bunch of free stuff, and then he disappeared. He evaporated because he doesn't want to be followed. His theory is guru stands for G-U-R-U, G. You are you. You are the one you've been waiting for. You are the one who's going to save your life, rescue you, fix your problems, and resolve your issues with a little bit of help. So he put out a little bit of help in his books, and then he disappeared. He's surfing somewhere. Nobody knows. He's gone. He will not communicate with the rest of us. He wants us to find our own way, our own path. But the formulation of his hypothesis was that we have these 7-year segments of life. So we come into the human form as vibrational beings initially. And while we're still in utero, before we're born and after we're born, those first 7 years of life, we're primarily emotional beings. And then the second 7 years of life, we are primarily mental beings. We go to school, we learn, we're processing. And then from puberty, from 14 to 21 roughly, these are approximate ages, we are in our physical realm. We're primarily physical beings. So we have emotional, we have mental, we have physical. And as we grow, as we develop, we become more and more distant from those original emotional impacts. So in those first 7 years of life, you tend to interpret everything through the grid of being the center of the universe, and you are the cause, and you are your own force to reckon with, and whatever happens is your fault or your benefit. And a lot of stuff that happens to us feels kind of bad, kind of icky. Guess we're not getting our emotional needs attuned to because our parents didn't learn how. So stressed people traumatize still growing people. It's just kind of how it works. So let's say you're a child and your mother, and she could be a psychotherapist. She could be extremely well versed in how to raise a healthy, well balanced child, but she's a human. And let's say she's fixing your dinner, okay? She's fixing her dinner and she's focused on all of the things that psychotherapists think about while they're fixing dinner. And you come in and you say, Mama, I had this dream. And you want to tell her all about this dream. And Mama, who is actually fixing your dinner and cannot answer you right now, cannot attune to you, she's processing her own stuff, says to you very validly, not now, I'm busy. Little you may conclude something like, whoa, I guess I don't matter. I guess I'm not important. And that little seed of a lie, an erroneous emotional conclusion formed by little you who doesn't yet have the mental capacity, the maturity to say, oh, yeah, mom's having a bad day. No, you formed the conclusion something's wrong with me. And that will be repressed because it's painful. So you'll shove it down, but you will carry that emotional imprint subconsciously for the rest of your life. And wanting to be right, the ego will look for ways in which to prove to you, see, you don't matter, you don't count, you're not important, you're not loved. Whatever the erroneous messages that was planted in that child's mind, concluded in that child's mind. So later, when you get triggered by all of these things and these circumstances and these relationships that show you, I don't matter, I don't count, I'm not important, you're not going to react to them or respond to them, you're not going to respond to them like a healthy adult. You're going to react like a hurting child because all of that is still going on, still festering under the surface. So the trigger is a blessing in disguise, a messenger to help you get in touch with what's hurting you subconsciously throughout your life. Because you keep feeling this. It keeps coming out sideways. You keep proving to yourself over and over that you don't matter, that you're not loved, that you're not important, whatever the personal lie is that you're carrying around. We all have variations on the theme, but it's often just a really yucky, I'm not important, I don't matter, I'm not loved, I'm not worthy kind of conclusion that the child forms. So life, which loves you enough, lets you get triggered. Yeah. So when you're triggered, the important thing to recognize is the person who's the catalyst, who did or said or didn't do or didn't say the thing that reacted the trigger within you, they're not to blame. They didn't cause it. You had this in you already. They just stepped on it. That's all they did. They stepped on it. You, the human with the feeling, with the triggered reaction, need to get emotionally responsible for your own well-being and go, whoa, okay, I'm triggered. And you can even say to this person, I'm triggered, not your fault. I need to go get alone and take care of this thing. I'll meet you back on the bridge and we can process anything that is left over after I take care of the charge, this emotional charge. Because we cannot respond in the present moment when we have to deal with a reaction that is still unresolved. So get alone, let yourself feel the feeling. And actually, I'm going to uncross my legs because not having anything crossed can actually help. So get alone and scan your body. Look for sensations. What is your body picking up on? Because an emotion, energy in motion, is actually a sensation that is first felt in the body. It's the brain that concludes, oh, this must be fear, anger, or grief, or whatever it wants to come up with. It wants to label, it wants to decide, it wants to control ultimately. So before you go to the labeling of the thing, first feel the thing. So where is it in your body? Scan your body, okay? Maybe it's a tightness in the head, especially if it's an angry charge. Maybe it's a tightness in the throat, like you can't speak, like something is strangling you. Maybe it's a heavy tightness in the chest. Maybe it's anxious fluttering in the solar plexus, like a bird caught up under the rib cage. Maybe it's a sickening, heavy weight in the gut. Maybe it's a limp, heavy feeling in the arms and legs. I mean, it could be any of those and more. It could be tingly sensations, prickly sensations, hot feelings, cold feelings, heavy, disconnected from your body. Sometimes it's a dissociation. Whatever it is, let yourself feel it. So feel that raw sensation. Let that emotion be present in your body. And then I want you to hold that feeling the way you would hold a crying baby, without condition, without a mental story, without thinking about the feeling. Don't go to thinking about the feeling, or you will be wasting your time and you won't be processing it at all. And you'll just have to get triggered again to be able to feel the feeling, because feelings want to be felt. Think about that. Feel the feeling. Think the thoughts, feel the feelings. Yeah. So bypass the mental part, sink into the body, feel the feeling. And if you get a label for it, fear, anger, and grief, those are kind of the three bottom line feelings or emotions. Figure out what that is. Feel the familiarity of it. If you can, let your body's wisdom show you the first time you felt this same sensation and emotion. You may get a memory, usually in those first 7 years of life. I've had some come up that were pre-birth, but don't force it, don't fake it, don't push it. Just whatever wants to arise. If you don't get a memory, it's okay. Just keep feeling the feeling. If you do get a memory, what I want you to do is look around in that memory, be the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old, okay? Be that little one. Feel that feeling, look around the memory, and I want you to see, is there any conclusion you came to as a result of whatever you went through in that memory? What did you believe about yourself? Oh, this means I'm bad, or this means I'll never have what I want, or this means I'll always be left alone, or this means I'm not loved, or this means no one will be there for me. I mean, it could be anything. It could be anything. Most of the time, these conclusions they're kind of universal. They're the things that a child might say when they wake up from a nightmare. So feel for that conclusion, that lie, and then take that conclusion, that lie that the little child believes, and feel kind of on a scale of 1 to 10, how true does that thing feel? Because a lie that's operating in your life doesn't feel like a lie. If it felt like a lie, we'd go, oh, that's a lie, and we'd throw it out. No, it feels like the truth. So feel the resonance of how that lie rings true for you. Just kind of hold it for a moment. How true does it feel that I don't matter? Yeah, wow. Strong truth there. That feels true to me. And don't do it with your rational adult mind. Feel it with a child's mind, the conclusion the child came to way back in time. So feel it. And then I want you, the adult, to take that lie from the child, and I want you to hold it up to your personal source of truth. It could be a form of divinity, source, presence, great spirit, God, whatever feels like your personal source of truth. It could be yourself. Hold that lie up to your source of truth and ask, is it true that little you didn't matter, wasn't loved, is bad? Whatever that lie is it true? And then I want you to wait. Don't do the mental gymnastics of forming a conclusion or rationalizing the truth. I want you to wait in the silence and see what you experience. Let something emotionally and experientially come up for you. See what happens. Just Ask the question, wait in the silence, pardon me, and see what truth emerges for you. Because when it comes spontaneously, choking up about this, when it comes spontaneously and you feel it experientially rather than processing it rationally, it's going to ring true. You're replacing one old, festering, painful, traumatic experience with a new one in the present moment with your inner child. So they're not alone. You're not re-traumatizing them. You're not abreacting. You're replacing something with something else. And whatever that truth is, it usually comes in the form of something you would say to a child who just woke up from a nightmare. It wouldn't be a dissertation on the appropriateness or the inappropriateness of, no, nothing like that. It's usually something gentle, something you would say to a hurting 5-year-old, something like, you're loved, you're beautiful, you're safe. The thing that I got today that touched me when I dealt with my own process, and maybe I'll unpack that a little later or another time. The thing that got me was, well, first of all, everything and everybody wants me to have more fun. It's time to be playful, time to be childlike, time to have more fun. I've been so stinking serious and making things happen, and it's time to get playful with life. That message has been coming through loud and clear. So, throwing confetti, playing kazoo, whatever. But the message that came across from my source of wisdom to me, it was like source was saying to me now, and me now adult was saying to little me inside, sort of a fractal conversation, was, silly girl, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Yeah. Water and ice. I can't say that without really feeling it. So whatever it is that comes up for you, when you take that thing that feels like a heavy, bad truth and hold it up to the source of truth and ask, is this true? This painful thing that I'm not good enough, that I'm bad, that I'm not loved, that I'll never be worthy, or whatever it is that comes up for you when you do the process, hold it up to the light of truth, and then let that source speak to you. Let it be delivered to you personally, experientially, emotionally, so that it replaces whatever you had before with the truer truth. Yeah. So I don't know if the sound is still working because my earbuds are making the noise of doom in my ear. So I'm not sure if it's still working or not, but hopefully it is. Hopefully this is going to keep going and record, and rather than just watching me move my mouth silently, as silent movies are not my forte. That's the best description I can give you in a nutshell of the process that I use to resolve my own triggers, my own painful emotions. And you'll find your own. You can play with mine and see if it works for you. I'll be happy to even work with people if you'd like to contact me. I have a way of helping people process this one-on-one that's pretty stinking effective. And I'm actually going to start doing some coaching professionally. So if you would like to work with me, if you would like to go through this process or one of many others, or hypnotherapy, hit me up. We'll talk about it. I want to make it work for you emotionally and financially. I can be pretty flexible. I know there's a hurting world right now, and I would like to help people find the tools and the means by which you can find resolution for the things that are getting triggered by all that's going on in the world right now. We are all massively, all of humanity being affected right now by triggers galore. And I happen to believe that the chaos that's going on out there, it's a collection of the projection of our own individually and collectively unresolved trauma pushed out there on the projection screen of life. I do believe that everything that's wrong on this planet is due to an unresolved trauma. I do. Color me simplistic, color me naive. I believe it with all my heart, with my experiential heart. So I'd like to close again with a singing bowl, if that's okay. Hopefully this is all being heard. And I'm not just making no sound here. So set an intention for your own healing. What is it you most want to resolve in your own life? What keeps coming up for you and snagging you sideways? Think about that for a moment and set the intention that you would like to make your triggers become the catalyst for your own healing. And then trust how the universe brings that about for you. Whoa. Thank you for being with me on my getting back to vlogging episode. And if there are things you want to talk about, you want me to address and bring up, if there are people you'd like me to interview, I think that would be fabulous fun. And I'm gonna have fun, damn it. I'm determined to have fun. I am. Thank you again. May your evening, your afternoon, your morning, the rest of your day, heck, the rest of your life be amazing and filled with healing and possibilities. Thanks.